You guys know we just had to talk about Michael Carrick. What he has done at Man United in such a short time is just so astonishing. Back-to-back wins against the two title contenders in your first two games is absolutely incredible for a coach with no experience in the top flight. He has the Red Devils playing like a well-oiled machine and has already broken a few records. He is the only manager to face Mikel Arteta more than once in his managerial career and have a 100% win record. His 3-2 win against Arsenal also made United the first team to put 3 goals past Arsenal since 2023, ending the Gunners' run of 121 games without conceding more than 2 goals in a match. Man United also became the first team to win back-to-back Premier League games against sides starting the day in the top 2 of the league in 16 years. It was also the first time in the entire season that Arsenal have lost a game after scoring the opening goal. All of these would simply not have been possible without Carrick coming in and making some massive changes. In this video today, we will be looking at a few of them. These are 7 changes Michael Carrick has made to this Man United team already. The most fundamental change that was made was the formation. Carrick simply went back to the basics. Ruben Amorim was famous for sticking to his 3 at the back tactic and never really wanted to change in spite of the result or performance. Carrick came in, returned to the good old 4 at the back formation and simplified the tactics as much as possible. One thing we observed is that players often struggled under Amorim, not because they're not good enough, but because the tactic was just a little too complex. Sometimes it works, but for it to really work, everything has to be perfect, and the novelty along with the very small room for error could cause some players to start to play with nerves, and that could really ruin everything. Carrick came in, returned to a setup that every professional footballer is used to, and that instantly feels like a smart solution. Another change he made was to bring Kobbie Mainoo back into the fold. For some reason, Amorim just didn't like Mainoo and hardly ever used him. This caused the kid to start looking for a way out of the club, with his brother even protesting the midfielder's constant exclusion by wearing a free Kobbie Mainoo shirt to Old Trafford in December. Amorim once said that Mainoo couldn't get sufficient minutes because he plays in the same position as Bruno Fernandes, but Carrick has come in and shown that both players can actually be on the same pitch and produce great results together. In the games against Man City and Arsenal, Mainoo was the player who covered the most distance, showing how much work rate Amorim had been missing in his games. There's another huge personnel change Carrick has made already, and we'll talk about it in a bit. But if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away so you never miss out on our amazing content. Done? Okay, back to Michael Carrick. The former Man United midfielder has also transformed Patrick Dorgu into a winger, and that already seems like a really brilliant idea. As you know, Amorim didn't use wingers, and the club giving him freedom and authority in the transfer window meant that he drove almost all the wingers away, including Rashford, Antony, Garnacho and Sancho. This left Carrick with very limited options on the wing, especially on the left, and not wanting to shoehorn any attacking player into that position just for the sake of it, he decided to convert Dorgu from a left wing back to a left winger, and that already feels like a stroke of genius. Dorgu managed only 1 goal in 40 appearances under Amorim, but he already has 2 in 2 under Carrick. And those 2 goals coming in huge games against City and Arsenal makes them even more special. Dorgu has the speed, strength and ball striking to excel as a winger, so kudos to Michael Carrick for identifying that and exploring it. Another big change he made was to play Mbeumo as a very mobile 9. Under Amorim, Mbeumo played as a 10, and to be fair, the Cameroonian excelled in that role, scoring goals often enough and even once being named Premier League Player of the Month. But Carrick pushing him further forward is perfect for the football he is trying to play, and we see it pushing Mbeumo to even higher goal-scoring levels. Carrick doesn't ask Mbeumo to just sit in the box, he requires him to make frequent movements in and around the area, pulling defenders out and making it hard to properly mark him. Centre-backs love it when a 9 is always in the box. It's easier to track him and nullify them that way. But when the centre-forward is so unpredictable with his movements, it's really a nightmare. Moving on, there's also a much higher, more aggressive and much more relentless press under Carrick. The United attackers didn't give Man City the time of day in the derby, which really disrupted their build-up, making it difficult for them to create chances. It's no accident that Pep's men had only 1 shot on target, created no big chance, and only had a 0.45 xG all game. Carrick's tactics completely nullified them and pinned them back. Against Arsenal, it was the aggressive pressing that forced an error from Zubimendi and led to the Mbeumo equaliser. In addition to that, United's press also made it difficult for Arsenal to create chances, which is why they had to heavily rely on set pieces and crosses into the box. Despite their 56% possession and 15 shot attempts, Arsenal only created one big chance all game, and their goals came from an own goal and a very scrappy corner kick. All of this didn't happen by accident. They were possible thanks to the changes Carrick made to the team. One more thing he did was to properly platform his best players. First of all, he pushed Amad and Mbeumo higher up the pitch, where they are more effective and more threatening. Amad and Mbeumo are two of United's best players, and it's always best when your best players are in positions where they can hurt the opponents the most. Under Amorim, Amad played as a wingback and Mbeumo as a deep midfielder, which meant that they were pretty far from the opponent's box. Because of their quality, these two players still managed to produce good output in those conditions, but Carrick has come in and platformed them better. Amad is now playing as a winger and Mbeumo as a 10. These are players that can hurt any defense, so Carrick has reduced the defensive load on them, giving them freedom to wreak havoc in the final third. In the first 2 games of his tenure, it has already yielded amazing results, with Mbeumo particularly coming out with 2 assists and 8 chances created in these 2 games against tough opponents. He also made sure not to force anybody into the starting lineup if they didn't fit in, which is exactly why Šeško and Cunha had to make do with starting from the bench despite being big money summer signings. And well, they ended up having a huge impact from off the bench against Arsenal, with both of them being heavily involved in the winning goal. Sometimes simplifying things brings the best results. Finally, Carrick has given the team belief. You could tell that Man United did not enter any of those 2 games with an underdog mentality. They knew they could slay the Giants because they were giants themselves, and they went for it right from the beginning. They didn't sit back and just let the opponents come at them. Even when Arsenal got their late equaliser, they didn't try to protect the point as many coaches might have tried to do. They went for the kill and got the winner. This is the type of mentality that is needed to achieve big results in big games, and having played under Sir Alex Ferguson in Man United's most successful era, you can see exactly where Michael Carrick got that belief from. But do you think Man United can sustain this? They have started really brilliantly under Michael Carrick with 2 wins out of 2 very difficult games. Can they now also pick up points in the relatively easier games? Can they go ahead to secure a top 4 finish this season? What do you think? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye.